Okay, I think we're going to kick it off. So I'd like to thank all our panelists for joining us. This is, my name is John Kochfair. I represent the Antioch Rotary Club. This is our fourth panel discussion. We try to do one every month, trying to build pathways for our District 117 students to make connections outside a normal pathway of a four-year college. Tonight, we're talking about health services, and we have a great set of panelists here to give you information. We will open it up for questions. There is a chat box. You can type your questions in. It is being monitored. We'll get to those later on in our discussion. So I'd like to start off by thanking everybody. This has been a great relationship with District 117. We hope to continue this into the 2021 year and into 2022. Our goal as Rotarians is to create these pathways, give students an opportunity and an idea of some additional funding that's available. The Rotary Club of Antioch does supply scholarships at both the four-year level, a four-year traditional college path, and additional college or additional learning paths. So whether you're going on to the trades, whether you're going on to a non-certified field, we have a pathway and ability to help you financially. So reach out to us. At the end of this, we'll talk more about that. So again, I'm John Kochfair. I'll be your moderator. First off, we have two great panelists that have a career based, and they've created a pathway for themselves. So I'd like to start off with Brianna Schwerzbach to introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you and how you got here.
Like you said, my name is Brianna Schwerzbach. I'm currently a registered nurse. I work at a obstetrics and gynecology office. I started my health service career through the tech campus at the College of Lake County. I was a part of their certified nursing assistant program my senior year of high school. I went into that program just to make sure I liked the health services field. I grew up with a family in the fire services, so I knew I wanted to do something along those lines. So I went to school through the tech campus, became a certified nursing assistant, decided that was something I loved to do. I loved helping people, and I wanted to further that in my career, so I went to school to become a registered nurse. I went to a four-year nursing program at Bradley University. Through my 4 years of nursing school, I worked as a certified nursing assistant at one of the local hospitals in Peoria. When I graduated, I was a labor and delivery nurse for about 6 years before I started my current role in a doctor's office.
That's great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Terry, go ahead and introduce yourself. I butcher your last name. I do it every time.
Sorry about that. So my name is Terry Hedgesenia. I'm actually a District 117 graduate, and I'm currently a nurse practitioner in an OB/GYN office, and also the clinical coordinator and adjunct in the medical assisting department over at the College of Lake County. I got my start in healthcare back in high school. My sister was a medical coder, my mom was a nurse. So my first high school job was as a medical receptionist in a doctor's office. The summer between my high school, my senior year and starting college, I did get my CNA license as well and worked as a CNA throughout my four-year program at Marquette University to get my bachelor's in nursing. I worked as a nurse for 13 years, both in labor and delivery and then outpatient women's health, and then decided to further my education and got my master's and my FNP certificate. And all that while I was working at CLC, teaching in the medical assisting department.
Well-rounded. We also have our District 117 representatives, Scott and Rebecca. From District 117 is made up of Antioch High School and Lakes High School. So Scott, if you'd like to talk a little bit about your school, and then we'll move on to Rebecca.
Yeah, thanks, John. Excited to be here tonight, and thank you to everyone for joining us, both guests and panelists. We feel very, very fortunate to have this kind of resource available for our students and their families. Rebecca and I each get to oversee a student services department and a counseling team that works really hard to get great resources available to our families. And so we'll share a little more about that later, but thank you to everyone for being here.
Hi, everyone. I'm Rebecca Holst, Assistant Principal of Student Services at Lakes, and I echo everything Scott said. This is an exciting time. We love to be able to have conversations with our students as they prepare for life after high school. A lot of our students come in with just an unknown about what they want to do, and they like to explore options. And I think our relationship with the tech campuses is amazing for them to go and experience a couple of different fields, some where you leave with a certificate, some where you might leave with an internship. And we do see a growing interest in the medical field. I think it's for a variety of reasons, but John, something that you said early on really struck a chord. Our students really like giving back, and they really like helping others. And the nurse practitioner, the nursing field is really something that is gaining a lot of momentum at Lakes High School.
Yeah, and we're seeing that in some of our scholarship applications. They're looking at that. That seems to be a big pathway for them. You know, we can't do this. The partnership with the technology campus is fantastic through high schools. You know, they're the backbone that are going to get the kids. You know, the high school gets our kids, the high school kids, to the tech campus. And then they teach them and turn them loose into the field and give them that first taste. You know, a lot of them, I think, you know, Brianna would agree. You know, she has a background, and unfortunately, I know her background a little too well. But once you get that taste, you just want to learn more. And our instructors at the tech campus, they're there to help forge this pathway. So we're going to move into our representatives from there. Amanda, if you'd like to go ahead and introduce yourself, that would be great.
Hello, everyone. So my name is Amanda Pavon. I am instructor at the campus, and the program in which I teach, it is biomedical science, and it is part of Project Lead the Way. So thank you so much for the invitation, and I'm so glad to see all of you in this conversation.
Are you able to tell us a little bit about your program and what it is you're showing them?
Oh, the program. This is a dual credit class, so it means the students are getting college credit. So the program, it is made of 4 different courses. So we start with principles in biomedical science, then we continue with human body systems, medical intervention, and biomedical innovation. So if the student pursue, you know, this path, this program, we'll end up with about 12, you know, college credits. So it is wonderful. It is through a Project Lead the Way. So this is an invitation or for the students to have a taste of what the biomedical field it is about. So to experience, you know, all what is happening now. We use different case scenarios, you know, it is a project-based approach. So they can go, you know, from being epidemiologists to go all the way to be, you know, physical therapists. So we use different case scenarios. So for them to be having that experience to what the biomedical field it is about and the opportunities, and especially now with the pandemic. So they are getting familiar with opportunities, professions that they were not very familiar or were unknown to them. So for example, they were not familiar with, epidemiologists, with biochemists, with researchers, in the lab for, vaccine production or biotechnology. So this is what we introduce the students to at this point in the program.
How long have you been teaching this?
Oh, this is my first year. I
First
am
year? Okay.
former molecular biologist for more than 15 years. So, and I was a previous research associate at Rosalind Franklin University, biochemistry department and cell biology department.
You're a very smart lady, I'm sure. Smarter than me. Your students, where do they talk about taking their experiences with you, that you've taught them? Are you part of that conversation of where they like to go after, where they see themselves? If this is your first year, where are they going to go next year?
I have a lot of students that they will go into CLC. So I think is the, the connection, the closest, the local connection for most of them, close to 85%. I also have, students already accepted in 4-year colleges. So as some seniors, I have a couple seniors, and I have others that, are trying to experience what biomedical field it is about. So.
Well, thank you. We really do appreciate you being part of our panel. We're going to move on to Sean Riley, our medical assisting instructor at the Tech Campus. Sean, tell us a little bit about you.
Hi, everybody. I'm Sean Riley. I am a medical assisting instructor here at the Tech Campus. I'm also a certified medical assistant and phlebotomist as well. My program also offers dual credit. We offer medical terminology as well as billing and coding, as well as a basic medical office and billing procedure articulated credit with CLC. So once you get done with my class, you could potentially acquire 11 credit hours. And if you take a look at how much the credit hours at CLC cost, I think it's about $125 in district. At the end, if you meet the requirements, you can end up saving about $1,375 in your tuition, which is pretty huge. You don't have to be a senior to take my class. You could certainly be a junior as well. So, if you get started early here at the Tech Campus, you could take my class, you could take CNA class, you could take biomedical. And by the end of your junior and senior year, you could have acquired a substantial amount of dual credit and really kind of lay the groundwork for a successful future. So as far as some of the things that we do in my class, for those of you that don't know, in the audience, medical assisting is unique in that we're both clinical and administrative. So as far as some of the administrative skills are concerned, we do billing and coding, processing patient information, things of that nature. And then clinical procedures, we're doing temperature, pulse, respiration, blood pressure, EKGs, blood glucose testing. So, it's a really well-rounded program, and it really gives you a leg up on the competition, and really kind of lays the groundwork for success in the healthcare world.
That's all. So where do you see your kids going? The kids that come into you, the students, I shouldn't say kids, the students.
Yeah, I call them kids too. It's perfectly understandable. So it depends. I primarily get a lot of juniors, which is great because I think that with my class, the students are able to kind of get their feet wet and see whether or not healthcare is for them. So for my juniors, I really push them to go over, like with Miss Kavorik over here, over to CNA, or with Miss Pavon as well, to go to biomedical, to kind of explore a little bit further, in the medical realm, to kind of discover what they want to do. As far as seniors are concerned, I help set them up with their dual credit. I kind of act as like a guide as far as their necessary next steps, as far as signing up for classes at CLC. Tomorrow, we're going to be having a resume workshop. We're going to be having mock interviews, things of that nature, just essentially to kind of get these students prepared for the real world.
So do you see, do you see your students going on to the 2-year, 4-year plan or going into the workforce?
I would say the majority of them are going to end up going to college for the most part. Because of the fact that my students aren't 18, I'm unable to teach them, actual like injections and blood draws on each other. So there are some restrictions as far as that's concerned, where like with CNA, you only have to be 16 to gain that certification. But, it's nice the relationship that we have with CLC because, I can get them to a certain point and then, CLC essentially can take them the rest of the way once they do turn 18. And that dual credit is going to be available for them at CLC once they do turn 18.
All right, thanks. Dawn, you'd like to go ahead and tell us about your program and yourself?
I certainly will. My name is Dawn Kovarik. I am one of the CNA instructors. I have been a nurse for just about 40 years. Excuse me. I have a wide range of background. I worked ICU, ER, I've done office working, I've been a supervisor. So I've done a lot of different things. I then became an instructor, a CNA instructor, which was not even in my scope of something that I thought I would end up doing. But I absolutely love it. And I feel like it is a spectacular way to finish out my nursing career, because this will finish out my nursing career. I teach the students the 21 skills that are necessary for them to take the CNA certification and become certified as a certified nursing assistant. They also get dual credit through College of Lake County. They get 7 credit hours. So that starts off the hours towards their nursing career. The majority of our students do go on to college. I would say maybe a third go to a 4-year college and the rest go to 2-year college. I do have students that became CNAs and are still working as CNAs. And for them, that was enough right now, but they do have aspirations of moving on. And we do have companies that come in, like we had Advocate Aurora come in and speak to the students via Zoom on Tuesday. And they do tell the kids, all the stuff that they have to offer, benefits and tuition reimbursement to show them that they can work towards getting a further degree.
And that's done towards the end of the year, correct?
That is done towards the end of the year.
Yeah.
We are also like MA, we are working on our resumes. We actually start our resumes the first week of school and then finish them up now when they have more to add to them. They've gone to clinical, they've worked in a nursing home, they've taken care of residents, they are CPR certified, and all those things they can add on to their resume towards the end of the year.
That's great. It's always so awesome to hear that, each group is working with the other. You're giving them dual credits. A parent of 3 college graduates, we all dream about those dual credits and wish we had them back then. I know at the time, over the years, more and more dual credits have happened. So thank you for making that possible to our CLC group and our 4-year college groups. So I'm gonna jump back really quick and go back to Brianna. Brianna, what do you think, what do you think you had, or what these instructors or types of instructors give to your office atmosphere? Oh, you there?
Yeah, sorry, it froze. The instructors at the tech campus, what they give to the office atmosphere.
Right, what can they bring to your office atmosphere? You know, I know you did some time in labor and delivery,
Yeah.
in the actual hospital. You know, all these components help add to your job. And
Right.
if you could
And in
speak
our
to any of them.
in our office, we do have medical assistants in the office that I work at. And I think that, you know, there's so many different avenues to health services and the ways you can go. So CNA instructors and medical assisting instructors kind of guide them as to which path they want to take. And yes, they can just come to an office and be a medical assistant. And there's the world of an office can't run without a medical assistant. So it's wonderful to have them. They also encourage them to go on to further roles down the line as a nurse practitioner, like Terry said. So there's so many different ways and avenues that these instructors can help direct these students to go.
All right, thanks. And Terry, you got such a bigger role. You know, you're teaching, nurse practitioner. What do you think there, you know, is there anything they can do? You know, here's your voice, here's your moment. You know, what can they help send you? Maybe teach different, or what would you like to see in these relationships?
Sure. So I think, you know, kind of as Sean alluded to, working in the CLC medical assisting department, you know, feeding these students who have gone through Tech Campus. So they've gotten their dual credits or their articulated credits through the Tech Campus, and really urging them to complete that certificate. So once they have taken those few classes at Tech Campus, those count as credits towards their medical assisting certificate, and then potentially an associate's. So we have two programs at CLC. We have a certificate program, which can be completed if you've gone to Tech Campus, can be completed in 1 year, including clinical time. And then once they've gotten that certificate, they're eligible to sit for the certification exam. And then we encourage them to get out working, and then little by little continue to add on courses to finish their associate's degree. You don't need an associate's degree to be a certified medical assistant. So I think, you know, kind of fast tracking them, and medical assisting is one of the fastest growing careers out there right now. And it's a really good starting salary for students that just need to get in the workforce. Some students need to help contribute to the family. They need to maybe support themselves. And it's a really good solid job that they can start earning money right away and then continue to earn. So I think really kind of urging the students to start at Tech Campus, get their feet wet, and then continue to learn. It really fosters lifelong learners. And, you know, potentially we have a lot of students that have aspirations of, you know, going on to nursing school or going on to PA school and furthering their education.
You know, I wish we could track them better. You know, they start off in different spots. You know, some start off way up here, you know, really high and looking to go to that, you know, pre-med track. And then others just start off at the lowest level, you know, and work their way up and become great, just really great people in the healthcare services. So,
yeah, for sure.
You know, thanks for that. Danielle, we don't want you to be left out there and all by yourself. So your role is a big role.
Sure. I'm Danielle Friedley. I'm the associate principal at Lake County Tech Campus. Our school is a school of opportunity. And if you think that the medical field, even if you're unsure of what path you want to take down that healthcare pathway, you can get that start and that experience at Tech Campus in any or multiple of these programs here that we have: CNA, medical assisting, and biomedical sciences. It's going to give you that foundational skill of what is out there for you. Biomedical science is fantastic because it gives you a little idea of a lot of different medical pathways that they get to do hands-on case studies on and learn a little bit about all these different medical pathways. Certified nursing assistants, fantastic, because if you are pretty adamant that you're going to go and be a registered nurse, you have to get that CNA certification. And a great way to start that is in high school and get it done. And then that's courses that you're not paying out of your pocket for later on. Because then if you decide, well, maybe the healthcare pathway isn't for me, well, then you haven't gone and spent that money. And again, medical assisting also our fantastic program. And although you don't come out of our program with a certificate, you've done quite a bit of learning of the field with those dual credits that you can go and finish, whether it be at CLC or another program. If you're interested in seeing our school, I would hand this over to our marketing coordinator, Nick Parrott, who helps in that respect.
What a great segue.
Thank you, Danielle. Hi, everybody. My name is Nick Parrott. I am the Marketing and Special Projects Coordinator at Lake County Tech Campus. All of my colleagues have done a fantastic job of introducing tech to you, giving you a really great idea of what each of our healthcare programs look like over at Tech. Just to fill in the gaps a little bit, in case you're still a little bit in the dark of what is Tech Campus, how do I get involved? Lake County Tech Campus is a career and technical education high school. We are located right next to CLC. We are not affiliated with CLC. We are our own institution, but we are right next door, right off of Washington Street. We offer 22 programs in total to over 1,800 high school juniors and seniors throughout Lake and McHenry counties, which also makes us one of the largest area career centers in the state of Illinois. So again, just echoing what a lot of folks have already mentioned, our perks include hands-on training. When you're at Tech Campus, you're there with us for 2 hours in length. So you can get used to spending a little bit of time in your textbook and then closing that up and really just getting your feet wet with our equipment on site, working in a lab environment. In addition, we have internships, as Dawn mentioned, working in clinical sites with patients, things like that. Dual credit, everyone has been talking about career expositions. We're in our career expo season as we speak. In total, Tech partners with over 350 local business partners that offer internship sites and job shadow opportunities, apprenticeship sites, field trip sites, donations. They're great partners with us over at Tech and are a huge resource for our students when they're looking to get into the workforce. In addition to career expos, we offer certifications, as a lot of folks have been mentioning. And on top of all of that, our tuition is free. So, you're getting all of this for free. Your member high school, depending, if you're at Lakes or Antioch, we'll bus you over to our campus during your school day. You're there with us for 2 hours and then you go back and return to your home school. So, a lot of great things that are happening over here at Tech. As Danielle mentioned, if you would like to, see our campus, tour with us, we currently do have a virtual tour available for folks. You can access that on our website, which is www.techcampus.org. Of course, you'll find a plethora of other information there as well. You can also find it on all of our social media. Our social media handle on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter is at LC Tech Campus. And we are actually, it's finally beginning to be safe enough that I can start to give in-person tours to folks. So if you are interested in actually coming into our space, feel free to shoot me an email. I will put it in the chat for everyone. My email is nparrott@techcampus.org. And I'd be happy to schedule a time with you to tour our facility. That's really it. Yeah, thanks.
That's awesome, Nick. Thanks. And just remember, over and above all that, you can go to your high school counselors and they have this information available also, and to help create that and facilitate that meeting with Nick. We do have Principal Eric Hamilton from Antioch High School. I don't know if you had anything to add, sir.
No, I just wanted to join and say thank you to all the participants, those that are viewing and those that are here presenting on the panel. On behalf of Antioch Community High School and the rest of Community High School District 117, we thank you for the opportunity. One thing that I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about is if you are interested in a technical career, there are Rotary scholarships that are also available. Talk to your counselor and they can provide you with the information on that. So thanks again for being here tonight.
Thank you for joining us. Lastly, Matt Tabor, another representative of the Antioch Rotary. I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about our scholarships to kind of wrap this up a little bit. You're muted, Matt. You got to unmute. Mute.
You'd like
There
to
you go.
stay there, huh? I thought you muted me, John.
Yeah.
So anyway, thank you.
Paybacks.
So again, on behalf of the Rotary Club, we thank everybody for being here. And John, I have to correct you. We don't give out scholarships. We give technical training grants.
There it is.
Named
There it
that
is.
because
I'm going to work all summer on trying to get that right.
we're really trying to expand what we have available to students who might need some financial assistance. It might not be a student who is going to a particular school, either CLC, trade school, or whatever. It might be a student in an internship program, in an apprenticeship program. And we want to have funds available to help them in other ways that might be helping them be successful in their career. We've been having a difficult time getting kids to apply for the grants. We did have one apply this year specifically for the technical trade grant, technical training grant. And we did on Monday evening award a student $1,000 for his continuing education. And I have to share with you, while we're on here on this program, I got an email from someone in the apprenticeship program in the electrical field and said, can I apply for the grant? So, which is great news. We really think we need to look beyond just the schools in terms of trying to attract the students and letting them know that we have these available. And we're looking to go into those the unions and the trades and let kids know that way that there might be some support available for them. We also think a very strong way that we can get the word out there is through the instructors at CLC. Last year, we had the opportunity to meet with all of this, at the tech campus. Last year, we had the opportunity to meet with all of the Antioch and Lake students that are going to tech campus and speak directly about the program. This year, obviously, we didn't because of the quarantine and all of that. And we hope next year things will be vastly different. But we think you as instructors, if you share the information about what we have available, and we'll make sure that we send that out to everybody so that you have it available. But let them know that they can contact us and we can work with them if there is a financial need that we can assist them with in finding their career path. Again, thanks everybody for being here.
And that being said, there's, students, I'm talking to you, you think you know where you want to go and what you want to do. You're 18 years old and you start moving down that path, and then you bifurcate and find something else that really interests you. And sometimes, what your initial pathway started isn't where you're going to end up. And there's people like the organizations we belong to, Antioch Rotary, that can help you once you make those career and career decisions where you shift gears. So high school isn't the end of it. Look into your local, just your local organizations. There's people there to help you, to help guide you. And that's, I think, our biggest passion is to create this guidance and pathways. No matter where you land, we're going to be there to help move you along. So I'd like to finish it up. I'm just going to ask Terry, what was the best thing about, deciding your pathway? What do you think was the best? If you could pull one thing out.
I just always had a passion for not only taking care of people and working in healthcare, but then I really found my passion for teaching, which also everyone in healthcare is also a teacher as well. But I truly enjoy teaching the next generations what I've learned and kind of being able to pass my knowledge on to them.
Paying it forward is always great.
Yeah.
So, Bree, lastly, we'll finish it up with you.
Similar to what Terry said, I've always known I've wanted to help people and be in some part of the medical community. And I think the best thing for the students, and I think someone kind of touched on it, is if you even have the slightest idea this is something you might want to do, the Tech Campus and their different programs that they offer is a fantastic place to start. And it's just a starting point. And I think being a part of the CNA program at the Tech Campus helped me move forward in the rest of my nursing career and made me realize it was exactly what I wanted to do.
Thank you. I don't know if we have any questions sitting in the queue. I don't know what we have sitting in there. We have nothing. So, well,
Not right now, John.
Matt, go ahead.
I just wanted to share one other thing of the opportunities that can come up from these panel discussions. The previous one we had was on manufacturing. And since we had that event, I was contacted by one of the presenters who works for a manufacturing company, and they're coming up with a new product. And he was looking for some assistance with graphic arts or graphic design to market this project. And he wanted to know if there were any students that might be interested or available for that. So we made contact with Dan Ortego, who is at College of Lake County, and the two of them are working together to see if we might get some students involved in doing some graphic design work for a new product from this company. So the reach that we have sometimes is not what we anticipate, or might be even greater than we had anticipated. And I just wanted to share that story with all of you. So the efforts we make here this evening, you know, we never know what lasting effect we have on someone. And this possibly could be something that helps someone make their career decisions and decide where they're going. So again, we appreciate all of your efforts.
Well, thank you. I don't know if anybody has anything else to add.
John, I had two questions that I was thinking about as listening to the panelists here. If we have a second to answer those, maybe, and somebody can help me from our
Absolutely.
guests. I think, you know, when I'm thinking about our freshmen and sophomore students who are still young, 14, 15, 16, and thinking about career options, just from those folks in the professional world right now, or our Tech Campus instructors who came from that realm, what was the surprise or the skill that you found most significant and important to being successful in health services? What made the difference for you professionally? What was really a skill that was valuable for each of you, maybe?
I'll start with that. I think that wanting to care for people and caring about people, just your fellow man, wanting to make people feel better. That's the type of person that wants to go into healthcare. That's the type of person that we need in healthcare. You know, people that are giving of themselves, which, you know, it's not always, sometimes it's a difficult job. You're taking care of people when they're at their most vulnerable, and you always have to be, you know, smiling and helping them and happy to do it. So that's one of the things that I find is extremely important.
I think one of the skills that we're finding in the students that are coming in from high school that are, I don't want to say lacking, but they need some additional development, is the soft skills. I feel like, you know, having the skill to be able to talk to people and approach people, and, you know, in this digital world of texting and not having a lot of face-to-face contact, I think that's a skill to work on early in high school, of, you know, just how to deal with other people, as well as wanting to care for them as well.
I do believe, like, one of the key skills, and this is part of, as I call, you know, like universal skill or transferable skill. So to be able to collaborate and to work in teams, no matter, you know, including open mind, a diverse, you know, approach, and having this flexibility and open mind to adjust and collaborate, you know, not only locally, but globally. Communication skills, I think, are, as Terry was mentioning, if you are a very good researcher, And if you are designing great experiment, having great results, and probably you can move, a field with your results, you need to communicate those, and you need to communicate, to a specific audience, either, the scientific audience or whatever, academic audience, but you need to be able to communicate in different settings to be able to be successful, in any field, no matter what. But team skills, communication skills, I have sort of noticed that are the best things that a student, can master, and those are for any field. And I tell them, you guys have to also be lifelong learners. You never know, this labor world, it is evolving really fast. So we are in front of a change of technology that it is impacting the medical field. Now we are talking about population health. So we have to approach, a huge, population to transform. And we are thinking in order to do this transformation that are required. So you need, to think, outside, the regular, be innovative, be a team player, and communicate what you're finding.
Kind of touching base on what Amanda said, don't be afraid to jump into something like this. Don't be afraid to learn all that there is to know in this field, and starting with the tech campus and their medical assisting or their CNA program. You're going to learn so much, and don't be afraid to do that, or be afraid to be hands-on with things as you're learning throughout your career, because that is the best way to learn things. You'll never stop learning, even if you stop your career at medical assisting or CNA program, or you continue on to something further down the line. Just always have that open mind and continue to learn, and not be afraid to continue to learn.
And I think that flexibility is important, that flexibility to continue to learn. I've been a paramedic for 35 years. I looked at our protocols and how they've changed from the time I started to the time we go. Without that flexibility, without the willing, through COVID, I can tell you protocols have changed. Any of the nurses here will tell you, and anybody in the medical field will tell you, it was changing by the day, sometimes 2 or 3 changes a day. Without that flexibility, I want to mirror the fact that, people need to talk. You need to relate to people. That's so important. And you really don't see that in today's youth. It's all text. So that's my 2 cents on that, Scott.
Well, thanks everyone. Rebecca and I have some software and tools that we use with students to help them pair their skills and their interests with career options down the road. But I think it's always more powerful to hear it from someone in the profession than it is from a computer that is coded to help match those things, but doesn't have that insider scoop on the actual work. I have one quick other question for our panelists, and forgive me, Tech Campus instructors, if this one isn't super easy for you guys, but I could appreciate your help too in this regard. We are a school that teaches physics first in our science curriculum, and so what that means is it is juniors that are taking biology, and then we have a very popular science elective for seniors called anatomy and physiology. But that first exposure to some of that curriculum in the medical realm and in the realm of anatomy and physiology comes sometimes at the end of high school. And so we have some students that recognize early on and find a tech campus program that's right for them and get that glimmer of interest early on in high school. And then I think we have some that unfortunately, just come to that idea later on that they're interested in the medical realm. And so for students who miss out on the tech campus opportunity in high school, who spot later on their interest in this, where would you suggest those 18-year-olds maybe graduating here in a few weeks? Where do they turn to get their toes wet in the realms that you all work in?
I think that, like I was saying, to not be afraid of and to jump right into a career. You could be a freshman in high school and know this is what you want to do. You could be graduating or already graduated and you decide that's something you want to do. And there's so many different resources. So just because you didn't know this early on, your freshman year of high school, doesn't mean it's something that you can't achieve. There's so many people who go through similar programs. Medical assisting, CNA programs, patient care technician programs when they're 30 years old. Like, you can start this career really at any point. It's just you taking that first step and jumping into it and being ready to kind of submerge yourself in the career itself.
I might say, Scott, that awareness should start even in middle school for the biomedical field, for the healthcare field. We should start, really, really, early. However, that doesn't mean, that a student that, a senior that haven't had the chance or hasn't had the chance to experience or living that type, the type of experience that can get at Tech Campus. So the chance, although these moments of course, we are in pandemic, to have a job shadowing experience or an internship or an experience during, the summer, that would be the best. So we don't lose it, for the healthcare field. So these kind of opportunities, I know, are limited given the circumstances, but I would go with that type of experience.
I actually have several students in my CNA class who are taking their A&P class at the same time as a senior in high school. So I can relate to what you're saying. Luckily they're in the CNA class, and several of them, when we go over the body systems, they're like, I'm talking about this in CNA, or I'm talking about this in my homeschool, so they can kind of learn from both ends, and, they're putting it all together, which I think is great. I think, there are schools like CLC offers CNA programs that are over the summer. They can graduate and be like, oh, I missed that opportunity at Tech Campus, but they could go to CLC and take a CNA class over the summer. And it's, it's short. It doesn't, we give it for an entire year. There are very condensed classes that you can take that they could just touch on that, is this really something I want to do, and go that route, which I think would be great for them.
Anybody else?
Well, I appreciate everyone's contributions to those questions. I think Rebecca mentioned it earlier. We've seen just a burgeoning growth of number of students interested in health services in the last few years. And I think it's largely around what Dawn mentioned early on, right? Which is a beautiful hope for the future in terms of people that want to make a difference and share that compassion and the desire to be helpful to others. And so that spans the gamut of students that are looking for, postgraduate studies and maybe becoming physicians someday, and folks that are ready to get to work right after high school. And so I think this is a really, really valuable conversation for our students. So thank you again.
I'd like to add one thing. Students who take the CNA class at Tech Campus, I have a wide range of kids. When they first come in, I ask them, what do you want to do? Where do you see yourself going? I have students that want to be doctors, that want to be x-ray techs, that want to be, pharmacy techs, and they're starting there. Let me see if I like working with people. And I think it's, you can spread from anywhere. When you're in medicine, there's so many different paths that you can take. You don't get just stuck in one spot. So I think that that's huge. You can always find what you love when you're working in medicine.
If I can add, to what Dawn is saying, so finding that, for example, I tell my students, it is very valuable if you find that if you don't like to be working with people, with patients, if you're not for that, that doesn't mean that you're not for healthcare. There is a lot of need of people in health informatics. There is a lot of need in epidemiology, data collection, data processing, data analysis. That's what we need for population health. And that doesn't mean that you're out of the healthcare. No, we need across the spectrum. We need all type of, people to be working in healthcare. So that's what I wanted to add.
Very well said, very well said. So I think we're going to wrap this up. I want to thank everybody for joining us. It was great discussion. Let's hope we helped, answer a lot of questions. If you're not opposed to it, we'd just like to share your information with the schools in the way of emails. So if we do have students that want to help, that have specific questions, that they can reach out to you and you can answer those questions. So on behalf of the Rotary Club of Antioch and District 117, Lakes and Antioch, thank you all very much. Thank you all for taking the hour to participate. Thank you, Tech Campus, and all your instructors for coming in here again. So I wish you all a great night, and thank you again.